Good morning and welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Michael for Ford Truck Enthusiasts, Mustang Forums, and the Mustang Source. And today we have the 2021 Mustang GT Premium in for review. We're just going to do a quick tour of the inside and outside, talk about its specs, talk about its value, talk about its features, and then I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't buy it, even though I absolutely loved my week with this car. Let's dive in. This is the beautiful brand new color for 2021, antimatter blue, which is absolutely outstanding. It's a little bit like that 2012 cover, lava red, which was kind of looks black in most situations, but you see the speck of red in that one, and this one has metallic blue in it, and it's absolutely stunning. Wonderful color. No big changes for 2021. We still have the 2018 refresh. We're still on the S550 platform. Generation 3 Coyote V8 with 460 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque in this configuration. This is also a 6-speed manual and MT82 Generation 4 car. It's also a premium. It's optioned up with the 401A package, which brings the digital gauge cluster. We've got the leather Recaro seats. We've got the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and as you can probably tell from the wheels, if you're into Mustangs at all, this is a Performance Pack Level 1. Now for 2021, there is only a Performance Pack Level 1, and then the next jump up is going to be to the Mach 1. This is the spoiler that comes with the Performance Pack Level 1, and of course you can upgrade to other Ford aftermarket spoilers if you so wish to. Our loaner also has MagneRide and the Active Valve Performance exhaust. So basically almost every option you can get on a 2021 Mustang GT except the automatic transmission. And so this one stickers at $55,000, which is my main issue with the entire car. But first, let's go ahead and tour the inside as well. All right, so as you can see, we've got the leather Recaros. Now, very interesting. So this style of Recaro is the same style of Recaro that I have in my Boss 302. So it was basically, we started seeing these Recaros around 2011, 2012 in the Shelbys. Then they were available in the Bosses, then the GTs, and this is the style of Recaro that is available in the Mach 1 as well. They're different from the Shelby GT 350 and the newest GT 500. I actually prefer these Recaros. The only bad side about getting these Recaros is that you do not get the heated and cooled seats, even though you've paid for it by getting a premium GT. So a little bit of a bummer there. I really wish Ford could figure out how to add the heating and ventilation option to their seats. This one has the nice blue stitching, which really works well with this antimatter blue car. The other thing that I like about these Recaros that was not available on my car at the time, this switch here just makes the seat go forward and backwards, and it always locks into the same position that it was originally set in. So if you want to change the angle of how you're seating, you use this level here, and you can change, how far, tall and back the Recaro goes, but this just folds it forward and backwards to the same spot every time, whereas on mine, there was a latch up here, and that one, it's basically the same as the bottom one, and so you end up in this scenario where every time someone goes in and out of the back seat, you have to adjust the seat perfectly to get it where you want to. Now, in terms of rear room and form and function and all that sort of stuff, Mustangs are generally semi-practical cars. Obviously, it's, no truck or SUV, but for the most part, especially with the seats folding down, you can get a lot of storage and groceries and errands, and they're fairly practical for hauling things around, and the kids' seats fit in the back there. The one downside to the S550 generation as a whole, though, is that taller folks, basically anybody that is taller than a child seating in a booster seat, you kind of hit your head up here on the glass, which is a bummer. So you actually have less room than the S197 generation Mustangs, which ran from 2005 to 2014. Now that we're inside, let's go ahead and talk about the infotainment system and kind of the toggle switches over here. Again, nothing has really changed since basically about 2015, although there's been a few upgrades in 2018. That's when the gauge cluster came out, and there's been some technology upgrades, the sound system and so forth. I will say that the B&O sound system is probably the best sounding system that it's ever been in a Mustang. It's not quite as awesome as the B&O Unleash system that they have in the F-150 now. And speaking of which, like, that is what really shows up now about the whole infotainment system, is that we're still on Sync 3 here in the 2021 Mustang, and it is starting to show its age. It's still, you know, snappy and smart and quick, but, you know, having used the Sync 4 systems in the F-150 and the Mach E, that is a next level. It's a bigger screen, you know, more resolution, cleaner, better interface, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So all the, you know, the nice tech that comes with stepping up to the Sync 4, and you get over-the-air updates for your car as well. So the Mustang infotainment system is getting a little dated. Down here we've got all of our switches for different modes, emergency lights, traction control, steering feel, and then the actual driver's mode. And there you flip between normal, my mode, sport, track, drag strip, and snow and rain. The only kind of annoying part about this configuration here is that there's no exhaust mode toggle like there is on the Shelbys. And so unfortunately, to do the exhaust mode, you either have to switch the entire drive mode, or you have to come in here to the steering wheel and hit your Mustang button, which is right over here. And that'll segue into this screen here. Generally speaking, I really like the way that Ford is laying out the gauge cluster. You can pick to have three different gauges in the center right there. Well, I've got it set up to have you know, air-fuel ratio, rear differential temperature, and engine oil temperature. And you can customize that, which is really nice. The My Mode customization, you can also do that, and then it'll show your status as well. So it'll say, oh, hey, you're in normal mode, if you have launch control activated or not. And then as you know, change your situations, it'll tell you what things are available there. Now, the only thing that's weird about the My Mode, I would say, is that in a lot of cars, like the Dodges, for example, you'll end up with a menu screen here, or, you know, probably in your infotainment system, but you end up with a menu screen that allows you to set everything independent of one another. To set up My Mode here in the Mustang, you basically have to pick one of the modes, you know, track mode, sport mode, normal, whatever. You pick that mode, and then you can update the steering feel and the exhaust in the menu, and then you have to save it. So there's no separate screen to customize My Mode exactly how you want it. And again, it is kind of annoying that you know, to change the exhaust mode, you have to go into a separate menu rather than having a switch that you can toggle really quickly. I think it could be a little bit more ergonomic, but overall, it's still a nice interior. It's an upgrade over the S197, but I think it's about time for a refresh. We've seen the outside of the car. We're loving antimatter blue. The Coyote engine still sounds lovely, like revving up to 7,500 RPM, having 460 horsepower now in the GT, 420 foot-pounds of torque, which is 40 more foot-pounds of torque than my boss. The S550 platform is just such a joy to drive. The inside is a little bit nicer. It is smoother, tighter. The MagneRide suspension is just such a fantastic option to get, not because it makes it necessarily better than having, you know, a non-adjustable suspension, but what it allows you to do is just tune the car to whatever you're doing. Cruising down the highway, normal. You're on the track, track mode, you know, sport, plus you're halfway in between, and so on and so forth. It's just that the car is so customizable and tunable. The stereo is fantastic, and the leather is nicer than it has ever been before, and I still love these Recaro seats. The only problem, though, is that at $55,000 for a Mustang GT with everything and every performance option, and we're right at Mach 1 pricing, which, you know, for about, again, this is $55,000, and obviously Mustang GTs qualify for incentives and rebates and those types of things, whereas a Mach 1, your Shelbys, are not going to. And then, of course, a lot of people are charging ADMs for Mach 1s. But if you're going sticker to sticker, which is, you know, kind of the price comparison that I'm thinking at now, what you're getting with a Mach 1 over this GT Performance Pack Level 1 is that you're getting extra coolers. So you're getting a diff cooler, larger radiator, transmission coolers, like everything to keep your car healthy on track and to basically
make it happier everywhere. It's going to be running cooler just about in every possible scenario, and you're getting the Tremec 6-speed transmission, which is heads and tails above the MT82. The other thing that stinks for 2021 GTs in particular is that Ford went ahead and took the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's and made them exclusive to the Mach 1 and to the GT500. That's right, they've gone back to the Pirelli P0s for the GT Performance Pack, which is something they had given up in 2017. And I have to say, you guys, this is a subjective thing. I really dislike Pirelli P0 tires. I think they're too hard. They don't like it when it's, you know, even as cold as like 60, 65 degrees. They don't hook as well as the Michelins. They don't, in my opinion, they don't turn as well. They don't have as much lateral grip. They don't have as much stopping power. In fact, today running this car back to back with my Boss 302, you know, I'm not the greatest driver in the world, but I can pull off a 4.8 second 0 to 60 run in my Boss 302 using the launch control feature in the red key on my Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires here in the Pirellis. The best I could hit today trying it out was 5.4 seconds 0 to 60, and most of that was caused right at the beginning. It just would not hook. It was spinning the tires, and then it would bog if I had traction control on, and just spin them if I didn't. So really frustrating now to be paying $6,250 for the performance package on the premium trim at $6,500 on the base car, and you're getting tires that were not as good as the 1819s and 2020 Mustang Performance Pack Level 1. So really frustrating there as well. So all of that to say that I just don't think that getting all the options and getting the Performance Pack is necessarily worth it anymore on the Mustang GT. That is not to say that buying a Mustang in general is a bad prospect. Obviously, the Mustang GT, if you're getting just a very, very basic one with the cloth interior and no options, it's still a lot of horsepower and performance for the money, and you can do things like add better suspension components afterwards. And it is even the same for the premium level. You can get a premium 6-speed manual Mustang GT you know, for around $40,000, $45,000 with a couple different options, and you can be well below the cost of a Mach 1. It's still a super fun car, you guys. The engine sounds great. It's so quick, even though my car, I guess, is a little bit quicker as equipped. You know, the Bosses are, but obviously this is a much nicer car. It's a much smoother car to drive around. Driving the Boss, driving any S197 Coyote car is going to be a little bit more kind of old school, a little bit crazier. You can't really go wrong to buy one of these. I just wouldn't buy one with every single option, which brings me back to the Mach 1. Overall, you guys, I would highly, highly recommend, if you're thinking of spending above $50,000 on a Mustang, trying to get into the Mach 1 or a used Shelby GT350, especially if you're going manual. Now, if you were getting one of these and you want to go the 10R80 route, go the 10-speed automatic, those things are lightnings. The gearing is better in those. They accelerate quicker, and they are a lot of fun. And so, you know, I get wanting to kind of stick with that. But still, guys, with the Mach 1, that's available with the automatic as well, and you get all the extra cooling, and that is what you need if you're going to the track on the weekends, if you're going to the drag strip. So overall final thoughts about the 2021 Mustang GT Premium is that I love antimatter blue. I still love Mustangs, but I would not buy one that's fully decked out. So I would get, if you're going Mustang GT, I would try to get one in the 30s and 40s. And then if you're above that $50,000 range, I would go use GT350 or brand new Mach 1, because you're just going to get something that's a little bit more special and a little bit more capable for the money that you're spending. Whereas this one all decked out, you know, like I said, this thing is 0.6 of a second slower than my 2013 car that I bought for $30,000 3 years ago. So, you know, to me, this is not worth a $25,000 upgrade to get something that's nicer, smoother, but slower with the same driver. And of course, I know driver mod. What do you think of the 2021 Mustang GT? Have you ordered one? Did you buy a 2018 through 2020? Do you have the performance pack? Would you buy it again? Are Mustangs getting too expensive, or is this a great deal for the best version of the Mustang GT ever? Let me know in the comments below or in our forum threads. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all are well and safe. We will see you in the next video. Cheers.